For well over a decade, Drew Scott has stood firmly as one of the most recognizable and enduring faces across the landscape of modern home renovation television. Millions of loyal viewers around the world have spent countless hours watching him confidently guide families through the chaotic process of finding dream houses, masterfully negotiating complex real estate deals, and magically transforming rundown properties alongside his twin brother, Jonathan. On the television screen, his existence has always appeared effortlessly confident, wildly successful, and almost perfectly organized down to the very last detail. However, behind those meticulously polished suits and that notoriously charming camera-ready smile, Drew Scott's actual journey through life has been far more complicated, unpredictable, and challenging than the vast majority of his casual fans might ever realize. When you pull back the curtain on this HGTV powerhouse, you quickly discover that the glossy reality of television stardom is only a fraction of the actual narrative. His trajectory is defined not just by easy victories, but by massive professional gambles, profound personal transformations, and recent emotional heartbreaks that have fundamentally altered his worldview. To truly understand the man behind the multi-million-dollar real estate empire, one must look beyond the scripted banter and the dramatic living room reveals. The real story of Drew Scott is an intricate tapestry woven from unexpected beginnings in rural Canada, high-stakes financial risks, and a quiet, internal resilience that was forged long before a television network ever noticed his potential. The foundational chapters of Drew Scott's life began in a manner that was entirely unexpected, setting a precedent for a life that would constantly defy initial expectations. Long before the global phenomenon of the Property Brothers franchise took over the airwaves, Drew was simply a young boy growing up in the scenic but demanding environment of Vancouver, Canada. Born on April 28, 1978, he held the title of the youngest child in the Scott household, but his very arrival into the world was a shocking surprise that catches many fans off guard. His parents, Jim and Joanne Scott, had gone to the hospital that spring day fully expecting to welcome a single newborn baby into their lives. Instead, the medical staff delivered the sudden and overwhelming news that they were actually about to raise twin boys, a twist of fate that instantly reshaped the family's trajectory. Drew made his grand entrance into the world a mere 4 minutes after his identical twin brother Jonathan, establishing an inseparable lifelong bond that would eventually become their greatest professional asset. This sudden doubling of their family size forced his parents to completely adapt, setting the stage for a unique upbringing where sharing, absolute collaboration, and constant companionship were not just encouraged, but were absolute necessities for daily survival and happiness. The distinct environment in which Drew spent his formative years was heavily influenced by the rugged, adventurous spirit of his father, Jim, who had immigrated to Canada from Scotland during his own youth. As a passionate teenager, Jim had nourished a deep, romantic dream of becoming the exact kind of rugged, independent cowboy he had spent his childhood watching on movie screens. That burning ambition eventually guided him directly into the competitive film industry, where he spent years working under the radar as a professional stuntman, actor, and assistant director. However, when his children were still very small and impressionable, Jim made a profound, life-altering decision that would dictate the entire structure of his son's upbringing. He deliberately stepped away from the glitz, glamour, and unpredictable schedule of the film business, choosing instead to place his entire focus on raising his family in a stable environment. The Scotts relocated to a rustic horse farm located in Maple Ridge, a small, close-knit community situated just outside the bustling city of Vancouver. Life on the Maple Ridge farm was simple, profoundly physical, and incredibly demanding, exposing the young twins to the realities of hard, manual labor from the moment they could walk. On that rural Canadian horse farm, Drew and Jonathan did not grow up surrounded by the comforts of modern luxury or material wealth. Instead, the environment demanded that they absorb highly practical skills and a tireless work ethic at an incredibly early age. In an unusual twist of sibling dynamics, their older brother James would frequently and deliberately break various structures around the expansive property, such as loose fences or damaged sheds. James would then turn around and offer to pay his younger twin brother small amounts of his own money to completely repair the damage he had caused. As strange and counterintuitive as this sibling arrangement might sound today, this hands-on setup forced Drew and Jonathan to master fundamental construction skills before they had even reached their teenage years. They spent their afternoons building sturdy wooden fences, repairing weathered barns, and working diligently on elevated decks long before either of them ever imagined they would become internationally famous for doing the exact same thing on television. This accidental apprenticeship instilled a deep respect for physical labor and structural integrity within Drew, laying the foundational bricks for his future real estate philosophy. When the twin brothers reached the tender age of just 7 years old, their forward-thinking father pushed them to take their very first formal step into the world of commerce. Together, the ambitious young boys founded a small, homegrown company that they chose to call JAM, an acronym representing their names. The underlying business concept was remarkably simple, yet it proved to be surprisingly lucrative for a pair of elementary school children. They spent their free time manufacturing custom, nylon-covered coat hangers and then proceeded to sell them door to door throughout their local neighborhood. While the enterprise initially seemed like nothing more than a passing, innocent childhood project, it rapidly escalated when a businesswoman who specialized in exporting American products to Japan spotted their work. She was so impressed by their consistency that she placed a massive commercial order for thousands of their handmade hangers, introducing the boys to the realities of mass production. For two young brothers, this early success served as an unforgettable hands-on lesson in the mechanics of entrepreneurship, financial management, and the power of pitching a product directly to a consumer. During his transformative teenage years, Drew attended Thomas Haney Secondary School, where his personal interests began to diverge significantly from those of his twin brother. While Jonathan focused his creative energy on mastering advanced construction techniques and developing intricate illusionist magic performances, Drew developed a fierce, consuming passion for competitive sports. He dedicated himself fully to playing basketball and volleyball, eventually allocating a significant portion of his time to coaching younger students in the community. At one point in his high school career, Drew was practicing his basketball skills for multiple hours every single day, developing an incredibly impressive vertical jump that began to catch the attention of regional athletic scouts. For a brief period during his youth, it looked highly probable that professional athletics would become his definitive career path. However, as is so often the case in life, unexpected shifts and hidden obstacles had entirely different plans for his future. By the time Drew and Jonathan packed their bags to leave home for university in Calgary, the diverse skills they had accumulated on the farm were quietly but permanently shaping their ultimate life ambitions. When Drew Scott finally left the comfort of his family home to attend university in Calgary, he did not immediately step into the lucrative world of real estate or high-profile television production. In fact, the actual direction of his life during those initial young adult years was far less certain, predictable, or stable than his modern fans might ever imagine. While millions of contemporary viewers now perceive Drew as the quintessential hyper-confident businessman who always possesses the exact answers, the truth is that his early adulthood was filled with deep uncertainty. It was a period marked by constant experimentation, professional false starts, and a series of exceptionally bold financial risks that could have easily ended in complete ruin. During these pivotal years, Drew actively explored several vastly different career paths simultaneously, refusing to commit to just one trajectory. He remained deeply invested in his athletic pursuits and even managed to successfully secure a coveted spot on his university's competitive basketball team. For someone who had dedicated so much of his youth to training, this achievement felt like the next natural step toward a grand athletic career. However, just as his university athletic career was beginning to show real promise, Drew suffered a severe, physically devastating injury that forced him to permanently step away from the basketball team. It was a deeply disappointing, emotionally crushing moment for a young man who had spent years visualizing a future centered entirely around professional sports. Deprived of his athletic outlet, Drew pivoted back toward another lingering ambition that very few people in his life knew about at the time: his desire to work in entertainment. Drawing direct inspiration from his father's early days in the Canadian film industry, Drew began aggressively exploring local acting opportunities and performance gigs. For a considerable period, he actually performed as a professional clown and children's entertainer at local community events and birthday parties. This detail often shocks modern viewers who are accustomed to the incredibly polished corporate image he maintains today. Yet, those early, unpredictable performances as an entertainer were crucial, helping him build immense confidence in front of live crowds and teaching him how to read an audience. While Drew was busy exploring the fringes of the entertainment industry, he and Jonathan were also quietly laying the groundwork for a much more practical business venture. The twins had never truly lost the deep fascination with property, architecture, and structural renovation that they had developed during their childhood on the farm. Utilizing the practical construction skills they had learned from their older brother and father, they decided to pool their limited financial resources to buy their very first property. One of their earliest real estate ventures involved purchasing a residential house located near their university that was in an incredibly poor, utterly neglected condition. To the average observer, the dilapidated property looked like an absolute financial disaster waiting to happen, but the twins saw rare opportunity hidden beneath the decay. They moved into the house themselves and spent every spare hour meticulously renovating the space, doing the vast majority of the heavy lifting with their own hands. When they eventually sold the transformed property for a substantial profit, the victory confirmed that real estate could be more than just a side hustle. As Drew continued to immerse himself deeper into the regional real estate market, he made the strategic decision to formalize his expertise by becoming a fully licensed realtor. Unlike Jonathan, who remained deeply drawn to the physical hands-on construction and interior design aspects of the business, Drew discovered that he possessed a natural talent for negotiation. He understood how to navigate complex legal contracts, read market trends, and effectively communicate with stressed, anxious clients who were making the largest financial decisions of their lives. These refined interpersonal talents and sharp business instincts would eventually become the definitive driving elements behind their future television success. But at that specific moment in his early 20s, absolute success was anything but guaranteed, and the brothers were still living month to month. Looking back, those uncertain years in Calgary represented the ultimate turning point for Drew Scott. He had tried his hand at competitive sports, local entertainment, and independent business, experiencing both failure and success along the way. Every single one of those seemingly disconnected experiences was adding a highly specific, valuable tool to his personal skill set. Without explicitly realizing it at the time, Drew was slowly constructing the exact combination of diverse talents that would make him the perfect fit for a highly unusual career path. He possessed the showmanship of an entertainer, the physical understanding of a contractor, and the sharp, calculating mind of a licensed real estate broker. When the perfect opportunity finally presented itself a few years later, it would completely revolutionize the landscape of reality television and change his life forever. By the time Drew and Jonathan had spent several years working in the trenches of the real estate industry, they had perfected a seamless partnership. Drew focused entirely on the intricate business side of the process, mastering the art of the deal, analyzing housing markets, and guiding emotional buyers through bidding wars. Jonathan handled the grueling construction side, turning outdated, structurally compromised houses into modern spaces that people actually wanted to buy. What neither brother realized was that this natural, highly effective division of labor would soon catch the attention of television producers looking for the next big lifestyle hit. The major breakthrough occurred when media producers began actively searching for a fresh television concept that could blend real estate strategy with emotional family storytelling. The Scott brothers fit this experimental mold almost perfectly, offering a unique dynamic that television networks had never seen before. They possessed years of legitimate, verifiable experience flipping properties, they were inherently comfortable working in front of a camera, and they had distinct personalities that balanced each other out beautifully. Drew was the polished, corporate face of the operation, almost always appearing on camera in sharp, well-tailored suits while guiding clients through financial negotiations. Jonathan brought the rugged, down-to-earth contractor's perspective, wearing practical work shirts and focusing on creative design solutions to structural engineering problems. This clear contrast became the foundation for Property Brothers, a show built around a simple but incredibly compelling weekly structure. Drew would help an everyday family search for a house they could actually afford within their limited budget, even if the property itself was currently a complete disaster area. Once the initial real estate transaction was finalized, Jonathan would step onto the scene to completely gut, renovate, and transform the neglected space into the client's ultimate dream home. This specific format allowed television viewers to experience both the high-stakes financial drama of buying a home and the deeply satisfying, creative journey of physical reconstruction. When the show first began airing on television networks, absolutely no one involved in the production could have predicted just how incredibly popular it would become. Home renovation programs certainly existed prior to their arrival, but Property Brothers introduced a unique, familial dynamic that audiences immediately connected with on a deep level. The combination of brilliant real estate strategy, dramatic before and after visual transformations, and the genuine, unscripted chemistry between the twin brothers created an addictive viewing experience. Drew's innate ability to break down incredibly complicated financial decisions into simple terms made the intimidating process of buying real estate accessible to everyday viewers worldwide. As the show rapidly gained momentum in the television ratings, the Scott brothers transitioned from local Canadian entrepreneurs into globally recognizable television personalities almost overnight. Viewers began tuning in for much more than just the home renovations. they became deeply invested in the comedic, playful relationship between the two brothers. The natural sibling rivalry, the witty banter, the way they constantly teased each other on sight, and the stark contrast in their daily appearances reinforced the show's authenticity. Drew's sharp suits and confident, uncompromising negotiating style became a staple of pop culture, while Jonathan's casual, tool belt-wearing appearance reminded audiences that real work was being done. Soon, the immense popularity of the flagship series expanded into an absolute media empire, spawning multiple spin-off shows, public appearance tour, and lucrative corporate brand partnerships. Their newly founded production company, Scott Brothers Entertainment, began developing an array of additional television content, firmly cementing their status as industry moguls who controlled their own creative destiny. Yet, as Drew Scott was rapidly becoming one of the most recognizable faces on global television, something equally profound and transformative was unfolding quietly away from the bright studio lights. In the absolute middle of his exploding career and the chaotic schedule of filming a hit show, he crossed paths with someone who would fundamentally change his personal life. Her name was Linda Fan, and their very first meeting occurred in an incredibly hectic, unconventional setting that neither of them expected would ever lead to serious romance. They met during Toronto Fashion Week, a busy, high-energy event filled with media personalities, designers, and flashing cameras. At the event, Linda was working in a humorous capacity, dressed up as what she playfully referred to as the fashion police, handing out lighthearted mock tickets to attendees. Drew later recalled that amid the chaotic, crowded event, Linda's vibrant presence and quick wit immediately caught his attention, cutting through the noise of the fashion show. It was not merely her striking appearance that captured Drew's interest, but rather her infectious, playful sense of humor and an understated confidence that made her stand out completely. Their subsequent first official date turned into an unforgettable marathon experience that set the tone for their entire relationship. Instead of a standard, brief dinner or a quick, polite cup of coffee, the two spent hours exploring Toronto together, effortlessly moving from one spontaneous activity to another. They ate sushi, stopped at a local cafe for hot chocolate, and ended the late-night hours singing their favorite songs at a karaoke bar. What had initially begun as a casual, low-pressure evening slowly blossomed into the definitive beginning of a deeply committed, multi-year relationship. Drew would frequently describe the evening to reporters as the longest, most entertaining first date he had ever experienced in his life, marking the moment his personal trajectory shifted. As their romantic relationship grew stronger and more stable over the following years, Linda became increasingly integrated into Drew's fast-paced, demanding professional world. By the time she officially relocated to share a home with him a few years later, she was not only sharing his personal life but also contributing to his creative vision. She joined the rapidly expanding corporate entity run by Drew and his brother, Scott Brothers Entertainment, officially taking on the crucial role of creative director. In this high-responsibility position, Linda helped oversee the company's digital content strategy, architectural branding, major marketing campaigns, and custom product lines. Her sharp eye for design and contemporary aesthetics helped modernize the brothers' brand, ensuring that their business remained relevant in an increasingly digital marketplace. After several years of navigating the pressures of fame together, Drew decided it was finally time to take the next major step and propose marriage. The highly anticipated proposal took place during a carefully planned, meticulously orchestrated evening at a favorite restaurant in Toronto, where Drew asked Linda to spend the rest of her life with him. The milestone moment arrived after a long, enduring relationship that had successfully survived the intense pressures of grueling television production schedules, constant international travel, and rapid business expansion. And they eventually tied the knot in a gorgeous destination wedding in Italy. The elaborate celebration, beautiful, reflected both of their distinct cultural backgrounds. Elements of Drew's historic Scottish heritage, including traditional kilts and music, were blended with meaningful, time-honored traditions from Linda's close-knit Vietnamese family. Interestingly, Drew later revealed to his fans that their spectacular Italian ceremony was not actually their very first official wedding. Before the massive, media-covered celebration in Europe, the couple had quietly and legally married in Nashville, Tennessee, in an incredibly modest, entirely informal setting that completely defied Hollywood expectations. Instead of exchanging expensive traditional rings in a formal chapel during their secret Nashville ceremony, the couple jokingly exchanged juicy burgers while relaxing in a hot tub. This humorous, deeply unconventional moment became one of the many personal anecdotes that fans found both incredibly surprising and deeply endearing about the couple. It proved that despite their immense wealth and global fame, Drew and Linda maintained a grounded, lighthearted approach to life and love. In recent years, Drew has continued to maintain his highly successful public persona on television, but his private life away from the cameras has faced severe emotional trials. While he and Jonathan remain incredibly busy producing new content and expanding their real estate empire, Drew's private world has quietly weathered profound moments of grief. Professionally, Drew never actually disappeared from the television landscape the way some internet rumors and clickbait articles have recently suggested. In reality, he has continued working around the clock on multiple innovative projects connected directly to the home renovation universe. One of the newest, most compelling additions to the Scott Brothers television lineup is Property Brothers, Under Pressure, a series designed to highlight the intense reality modern families face. The fundamental concept for this new show actually originated from the viewers themselves, who frequently flooded the brothers' social media pages with specific requests. Drew explained in interviews that fans were eager to see the unedited, authentic process of house hunting, harsh negotiations, and budget management from start to finish. This transparency is especially crucial during a contemporary economic era where skyrocketing housing prices and inflating construction costs have made homeownership incredibly difficult for working families. In this new series, Drew uses his decades of real estate experience to guide anxious buyers through highly stressful financial decisions, while Jonathan focuses on engineering solutions. Part 2. The modern television landscape demands absolute authenticity, a quality that Drew Scott has consistently attempted to deliver even as his celebrity status has reached unprecedented heights. In his latest production ventures, he pulls back the curtain on the immense pressure families experience when competing in ruthless housing markets, facing unexpected renovation overruns, and trying to secure a stable future for their children. The Scott brothers utilize their immense wealth of industry experience to help everyday clients visualize structural possibilities that are completely invisible to the untrained eye. They consistently turn what appears to be an absolute money pit into a stunning, structurally sound dream home, providing viewers with both practical real estate education and emotional satisfaction. Yet, despite the undeniable, continuing success of these massive television projects, Drew's personal life recently collided with an incredibly painful, emotionally devastating milestone. In early February, he made the difficult decision to share some profoundly heartbreaking news with his millions of dedicated followers on social media. With a heavy heart, Drew informed the world that his beloved mother-in-law, affectionately known throughout the entire Scott family by the endearing nickname of Habu, had peacefully passed away. Drew wrote a deeply moving public tribute expressing that his heart was completely broken, describing Habu as one of the most remarkably kind, fiercely loyal, and entirely selfless individuals he had ever known. This profound loss was exceptionally difficult for the family to process because Habu had been an absolute pillar of strength in their daily lives, spending a vast amount of time with Drew and Linda's young children. For Drew, one of the most painful thoughts to endure was the realization that Habu would not be physically present to watch his children, Parker and Piper, grow up into adults. The raw, vulnerable message he shared publicly revealed a deeply human side of the television star that viewers almost never get to see during his tightly edited home renovation broadcasts. Behind the confident, fast-talking television host and wealthy real estate businessman was a grieving husband and a dedicated father doing everything in his power to comfort his heartbroken wife, while coping with his own deep sense of personal loss. This painful experience served as a stark reminder to his audience that no amount of television fame or financial success can shield a family from the universal realities of grief and human loss. At the same time, Drew has committed himself to fiercely celebrating the joyful, beautiful milestones that continue to define his family life. Not long ago, he shared an incredibly touching, romantic public message marking 7 wonderful years of marriage with Linda. In a beautifully produced video compilation posted online, he wrote that 7 years spent by her side felt like a mere 7 minutes, and that his love for her grew exponentially with every passing day. The video included private memories from their wedding, intimate family moments with their children, and the small, mundane, everyday experiences that ultimately mean the most. So, after navigating everything that life has thrown his way, from a surprise twin birth on a Canadian farm to high-stakes real estate gambles, global television stardom, profound personal loss, and the daily joys of fatherhood, Drew Scott remains a fascinating study in resilience. His journey reminds us that behind every polished media persona is a complex, evolving human being trying to balance professional ambition with personal integrity. As his career continues to evolve with new shows and business ventures, the underlying lessons of his childhood farm life continue to serve as his ultimate moral compass. He has proven that it is entirely possible to navigate the fickle world of entertainment while keeping your feet firmly planted on the ground and your family at the center of your universe. The true narrative of Drew Scott is not a simple story of easy Hollywood success, but rather a complex, ongoing chronicle of adaptability, hard work, and an unwavering commitment to the people he loves most. The evolution of television has seen countless hosts rise and fall, yet Drew Scott's longevity in the home renovation sector stands as a testament to his genuine connection with the audience. When Property Brothers first hit the airwaves, reality television was often criticized for being overly manufactured and lacking genuine substance. Drew and Jonathan managed to disrupt this stereotype by injecting their actual real-world business expertise into every single frame of their programming. Drew's background as a licensed real estate agent meant that the numbers discussed on screen weren't just fictional metrics created for television drama. They reflected the actual economic realities of the local housing markets. This commitment to financial accuracy earned him the trust of viewers who were looking for legitimate advice on how to navigate their own real estate journeys. Over the years, this trust became the bedrock upon which the brothers built their massive multimedia empire, transforming a simple show into a global lifestyle brand. As the brand expanded, Drew took on an increasingly active role behind the scenes, shifting his focus toward production, corporate strategy, and media distribution. The creation of Scott Brothers Entertainment allowed the twins to retain full creative control over their content, ensuring that their core values of family, hard work, and accessibility remained intact across all of their programming. Drew's sharp business acumen was instrumental in negotiating syndication deals that brought their shows to over 100 countries, making them household names internationally. Despite the massive corporate responsibilities resting on his shoulders, Drew never lost his passion for the hands-on aspect of storytelling. He remained deeply involved in the casting process for their shows, personally reviewing the stories of families who applied to be on the program to ensure that their struggles and triumphs would resonate authentically with the viewing public. This deep-seated commitment to authentic human storytelling is precisely what led to the development of their latest television ventures, which aim to address the unique challenges of the modern housing market. Drew recognized early on that the traditional real estate strategies that worked a decade ago are no longer sufficient in today's hyper-competitive, inflation-driven environment. Families are facing unprecedented financial hurdles, from soaring interest rates to a severe shortage of affordable housing stock. Through shows like Property Brothers, Under Pressure, Drew aims to provide viewers with practical, modern solutions to these complex contemporary problems, demonstrating how to maximize value without compromising on safety or design. His on-screen guidance serves as a source of reassurance for millions of viewers who feel overwhelmed by the current economic landscape, proving that with the right strategy, homeownership is still an achievable dream. The balance between a demanding corporate career and a fulfilling personal life is a challenge that Drew Scott has spoken about with increasing candor in recent years. In his early 30s, during the height of the show's initial explosion in popularity, his schedule was notoriously grueling, often requiring him to film up to 60 homes a year while traveling constantly between Canada and the United States. This relentless pace left very little time for personal relationships or self-care, a reality that began to take a toll on his overall well-being. It was during this period of intense professional pressure that his relationship with Linda Fan became his ultimate anchor, providing him with a sense of stability and normalcy amidst the whirlwind of television fame. Linda's presence in his life forced him to reevaluate his priorities, prompting him to intentionally structure his business ventures in a way that allowed for meaningful quality time with his loved ones. Linda's integration into the family business was a seamless transition that further strengthened their personal and professional bond. As the creative director of Scott Brothers Entertainment, she brought a fresh, artistic perspective that perfectly complemented Drew's corporate mindset and Jonathan's construction expertise. Her influence can be seen in everything from the aesthetic design of their digital platforms to the philanthropic initiatives championed by the company. Together, Drew and Linda developed a corporate culture that prioritizes social responsibility, environmental sustainability, and community development. They have used their massive platform to raise awareness and funds for numerous charitable organizations, focusing particularly on initiatives that provide affordable housing and support services to low-income families and marginalized communities around the globe. The transition into parenthood marked a profound turning point in Drew's life, shifting his focus from building a global business empire to creating a lasting legacy for his children. The arrival of his son, Parker, followed by the birth of his daughter, Piper, brought an entirely new dimension of joy and responsibility to his daily routine. Drew has been incredibly open about the challenges and triumphs of modern fatherhood, frequently sharing his experiences with sleepless nights, diaper changes, and the delicate art of balancing work commitments with family milestones. He has stated in numerous interviews that becoming a father has fundamentally changed his approach to his career, making him much more selective about the projects he chooses to pursue. He now prioritizes ventures that allow him to remain close to home, ensuring that he is physically present for the everyday moments that define his children's upbringing. The recent passing of Linda's mother, Habu, brought a profound sense of sorrow to what had otherwise been an incredibly joyful chapter of their family life. Habu had been an integral part of their daily routine, frequently staying with the couple to help care for Parker and Piper, and imparting her wisdom, kindness, and cultural traditions to the young children. Her sudden absence left a massive void in their household, forcing Drew and Linda to navigate the complex process of explaining loss to their young family while managing their own grief. Drew's public tribute to his mother-in-law was praised by fans for its raw honesty and emotional depth, breaking through the usually cheerful, optimistic exterior that defines his television persona. The experience highlighted the deep bond that Drew shared with his wife's family, demonstrating his commitment to supporting them through life's most difficult moments. In the wake of this family tragedy, Drew and Linda have found comfort in leaning on each other and focusing on the positive, enduring aspects of their relationship. Their ability to maintain a strong, loving marriage amidst the pressures of fame, business, and personal grief is a testament to the solid foundation they built during their long courtship. Drew's public celebration of their 7th wedding anniversary was a beautiful reminder of the enduring power of love and partnership, capturing the hearts of millions of fans who have followed their journey from the very beginning. The video montage he shared was a tribute not just to their past milestones, but to the quiet, everyday moments of connection that form the true fabric of a lasting marriage. It showed a side of Drew that is entirely detached from his corporate identity, a man deeply in love with his wife and entirely devoted to his family. As Drew Scott looks toward the future, it is clear that his journey is far from over. And his impact on the world of lifestyle television will continue to be felt for generations to come. He and Jonathan are constantly exploring new ways to innovate within their industry, developing cutting-edge digital tools and virtual reality experiences that allow users to design and visualize their own home renovations from the comfort of their computers. They are also expanding their focus on sustainable, eco-friendly building practices, promoting the use of renewable materials and energy-efficient technologies in all of their renovation projects. Drew's ability to anticipate industry trends and adapt to changing consumer demands has been the key to his enduring success, ensuring that his brand remains at the forefront of the home renovation market. The story of Drew Scott is a powerful reminder that success is rarely a straight line, but rather a winding path filled with unexpected detours, calculated risks, and profound personal growth. From his childhood on a Canadian horse farm to the heights of international television stardom, he has consistently demonstrated a unique ability to adapt, innovate, and overcome whatever obstacles life throws his way. His journey is defined not just by the houses he has built or the television ratings he has achieved, but by the integrity, hard work, and deep family loyalty that have guided his steps every inch of the way. As he continues to navigate the complexities of fame, business, and family life, Drew Scott remains a grounded, inspiring figure whose true story continues to captivate audiences around the world. The legacy of the Property Brothers extends far beyond the hundreds of episodes currently airing in syndication across the globe. What Drew and Jonathan Scott created was a brand that reshaped how homeowners view their living spaces, turning the act of renovation into a collaborative, family-centered journey. Drew's specific role as the financial strategist on the show helped demystify the often intimidating world of real estate mortgages, closing costs, and property valuations for millions of viewers. By empowering everyday people with practical knowledge, he transformed television from a source of passive entertainment into an educational tool that has inspired countless individuals to take control of their financial futures and invest in their homes. His impact on the real estate and television industries is undeniable, marking him as a true pioneer in his field. Behind the scenes, Drew's dedication to his craft is matched only by his commitment to personal wellness and continuous self-improvement. He has been a vocal advocate for physical fitness and mental health, frequently sharing his workout routines, dietary habits, and mindfulness practices with his followers. Having overcome a career-threatening athletic injury in his youth, Drew understands the vital importance of maintaining physical resilience and a positive mindset in the face of adversity. He attributes much of his high energy and stamina on set to his disciplined approach to health, which allows him to manage the intense demands of his multifaceted career without burning out. This holistic approach to life has made him a role model for fans looking to achieve balance in their own hectic lives. Part 3. The intersection of celebrity and real-world responsibility is a space that Drew Scott navigates with a high degree of intentionality and grace. He's acutely aware that his massive global platform carries with it a responsibility to act as a positive force for change in society. This awareness has driven his extensive philanthropic work, which goes far beyond simple financial donations to include active hands-on participation in community rebuilding projects around the world. Drew has partnered with organizations like Habitat for Humanity to build safe, affordable housing for families in need, rolling up his sleeves and returning to his construction roots to work alongside volunteers on the ground. These charitable endeavors are not publicity stunts. They are a direct extension of the core values instilled in him during his childhood on the Maple Ridge farm, where community and mutual support were paramount. The business philosophy that guides Drew Scott today is rooted in a deep understanding of consumer behavior and a commitment to delivering high-quality, accessible products. Through their lifestyle brand, Scott Living, Drew and Jonathan have designed and manufactured an extensive line of home furnishings, decor, and building materials that allow consumers to bring the signature Property Brothers aesthetic into their own homes at an affordable price point. Drew's strategic vision was crucial in securing major retail partnerships that made the product line widely available across North America, further solidifying their brand's presence in the everyday lives of consumers. His ability to translate his on-screen success into a thriving consumer goods enterprise demonstrates his versatility as an entrepreneur and his keen eye for commercial opportunities. The corporate structure of Scott Brothers Entertainment has also evolved under Drew's leadership to place a heavy emphasis on diversity, equity, and inclusion within the media industry. He has made it a priority to hire diverse production crews, writers, and directors for their various television projects, actively working to create opportunities for underrepresented voices in entertainment. Drew believes that the stories told on television should reflect the rich diversity of the audiences watching them, a philosophy that is evident in the wide range of families featured on their home renovation programs. This commitment to inclusivity has earned the company widespread praise within the industry and has helped foster a deeply loyal, diverse fanbase that feels genuinely represented by their content. The digital expansion of the Scott Brothers brand has been another major area of focus for Drew in recent years, as traditional television consumption habits continue to shift towards streaming and digital platforms. Drew spearheaded the development of custom mobile applications, interactive design games, and exclusive digital content series that engage fans across multiple online touchpoints. By embracing new technologies and digital media channels, he has ensured that their brand remains highly relevant to younger generations of viewers who may not watch traditional cable television. His forward-thinking approach to media distribution has kept their content accessible, engaging, and innovative in a rapidly evolving entertainment ecosystem. The personal relationship between Drew and Jonathan remains the core engine that drives their entire enterprise forward, defying the common stereotype that family and business do not mix. Despite working together for decades and spending thousands of hours in close proximity on set, the twin brothers have maintained an incredibly strong, supportive relationship built on mutual respect and open communication. Drew has often spoken about the unique strength of their twin bond, noting that their ability to read each other's expressions and anticipate each other's reactions is a major competitive advantage in business and television. While they occasionally disagree on specific creative or corporate decisions, they have developed a mature, professional conflict resolution process that ensures their business partnership remains harmonious and productive. The role of family in Drew's life has taken on an even deeper meaning as he watches his older brother, James, and his twin, Jonathan, navigate their own personal and professional journeys. The three brothers have remained incredibly close throughout their adult lives, frequently collaborating on various creative projects and supporting each other through life's major milestones. This tight-knit sibling dynamic is a source of immense strength for Drew, providing him with a trusted inner circle that he can rely on for honest advice and unconditional support. The brothers' ability to remain grounded and connected to their roots despite their massive collective success is a testament to the strong values instilled in them by their parents on the Canadian farm. As Drew and Linda continue to raise their children, Parker and Piper, they are deeply committed to passing down these foundational family values to the next generation. They strive to create a home environment that emphasizes kindness, humility, curiosity, and a strong work ethic, shielding their children from the negative aspects of Hollywood celebrity culture. Drew frequently shares glimpses of their simple, everyday family life on social media, from reading bedtime stories to working together in their backyard garden, showing fans that his greatest joy comes from being a present, loving father. These candid glimpses into his domestic life have further endeared him to audiences who appreciate his authenticity and his dedication to his family. The memory of Linda's mother, Habu, continues to be a guiding light for the family as they adjust to life without her physical presence. Drew and Linda have dedicated themselves to keeping her spirit alive in their home, frequently sharing stories of her kindness and wisdom with their children to ensure that her legacy is never forgotten. The experience of losing someone so central to their daily lives has deepened Drew's appreciation for the present moment, prompting him to savor every opportunity to connect with his loved ones and create lasting memories. It has also strengthened his commitment to using his platform to support grief counseling and mental health initiatives, helping other families navigate the difficult journey of losing a loved one. The ongoing success of Property Brothers Under Pressure has proven that audiences still have a massive appetite for the Scott brothers' unique brand of home renovation storytelling. The show's focus on the authentic, high-stakes realities of the modern housing market has resonated deeply with viewers who are facing similar challenges in their own lives. Drew's empathetic, expert guidance on the program has cemented his status as a trusted advisor and an authoritative voice in the real estate industry. His ability to connect with clients on a deeply personal level, understanding their anxieties and celebrating their triumphs, is what sets him apart from other television hosts and keeps audiences coming back year after year. Looking back on his journey from a surprise twin birth in Vancouver to a global media mogul, Drew Scott's life is a brilliant example of what can be achieved through hard work, adaptability, and an unwavering commitment to one's core values. He has successfully navigated the unpredictable waters of professional sports, independent business, reality television, and international entrepreneurship, emerging as a stronger, wiser, and more grounded individual. His story is an inspiration to millions of fans around the world, proving that with dedication, resilience, and a supportive family, it is possible to turn even the most audacious dreams into reality. As the media landscape continues to change and new entertainment trends emerge, Drew Scott remains uniquely positioned to lead his company into the future with confidence and vision. His sharp business instincts, creative drive, and deep-seated commitment to authenticity ensure that his brand will continue to thrive and innovate for years to come. Whether he is negotiating a multi-million-dollar real estate deal, producing a new television series, or spending quiet time at home with his wife and children, Drew approaches every aspect of his life with the same passion, integrity, and dedication that have defined his journey from the very beginning. The global impact of Drew Scott's work is visible not just in the high television ratings or consumer product sales, but in the communities and homes he has helped transform over the past 15 years. He has inspired a generation of homeowners to look at their living spaces with fresh eyes, encouraging them to create environments that foster family connection, personal well-being, and creative expression. His legacy is built on a foundation of service, education, and genuine human connection, making him far more than just a television personality. He is a cultural icon whose influence will continue to shape the lifestyle industry for decades to come. The enduring popularity of the Scott brothers' programming speaks to a universal human desire for transformation, stability, and a place to call home. Drew's unique ability to guide families through this deeply emotional process with humor, expertise, and empathy has made him a beloved figure in millions of households worldwide. As he continues to write the next chapters of his remarkable life story, his fans will undoubtedly continue to follow his journey with the same loyalty and enthusiasm that have defined his career from the very start, eager to see what this extraordinary Canadian entrepreneur will achieve next. The balance of professional excellence and personal humility is perhaps the most defining characteristic of Drew Scott's ongoing narrative. Despite achieving a level of fame and financial success that few ever reach, he has consistently resisted the temptations of ego and entitlement that often plague Hollywood stars. He remains, at his core, the hardworking boy from the Maple Ridge farm who understands the value of a dollar, the importance of physical labor, and the absolute sacredness of family loyalty. This grounded perspective is what allows him to connect so authentically with everyday people on screen, breaking through the artificial barrier of the television camera to touch the hearts of viewers. In an industry that is constantly chasing the next fleeting trend, Drew Scott's career stands as a monument to the power of consistency, authenticity, and enduring quality. He has built a life and a business that are designed to last, anchored by deep-seated values and driven by a relentless passion for innovation and service. As he moves forward into the future, balancing the massive demands of his media empire with the profound joys and sorrows of family life, he does so with the same grace, resilience, and charming smile that first captured the world's attention more than a decade ago. The ultimate takeaway from Drew Scott's remarkable journey is that true success is not measured by the height of one's television ratings or the size of one's bank account, but by the depth of one's relationships and the positive impact one leaves on the world. Through his television shows, his philanthropic endeavors, and his dedication to his family, Drew has demonstrated that a life well lived is one that is spent building spaces where love, community, and creativity can flourish. His story continues to inspire, educate, and entertain millions, proving that the man behind the polished suit is every bit as remarkable as the character we see on screen. As the final credits roll on another successful television season and the cameras are temporarily packed away, Drew Scott's focus invariably returns to the place that matters most, his home. Away from the flashing lights and the demands of network executives, he finds his ultimate fulfillment in the quiet, ordinary moments of domestic life, holding his wife's hand, playing with his children in the yard, and remembering the loved ones who have paved the way for his success. It is in these quiet spaces that the true essence of Drew Scott is found, a man entirely at peace with his past, deeply engaged in his present, and looking toward the future with boundless hope and optimism. The ongoing narrative of the Property Brothers franchise will undoubtedly continue to evolve, adapting to new platforms, changing economic realities, and fresh creative challenges. Yet no matter how much the business expands or how many new shows are added to the lineup, the core identity of the brand will always remain rooted in the unique partnership between Drew and Jonathan Scott. Their shared journey is a beautiful testament to the power of brotherhood, hard work, and a shared vision, providing a source of inspiration and entertainment that has stood the test of time and will continue to resonate for generations to come. Ultimately, the story of what really happened to Drew Scott is a narrative of triumph over adversity, of staying true to one's roots in the face of immense fame, and of finding the perfect balance between professional ambition and personal happiness. He has shown the world that it is possible to achieve extraordinary success without losing your soul, your humility, or your commitment to the people who matter most. As he continues to navigate the complex, beautiful journey of life, Drew Scott remains a shining example of what it means to be a true builder, not just of houses, but of a lasting, meaningful legacy.